Welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I got a replay sent in from NiteDog. He is driving his ISU-152 Tier 8 Russian TD, a casemate TD, and I recently had a video where I talked about casemate TDs, and NiteDog sent me back this replay and said, hey, I used some of the things you talked about in your casemate TD video, and he has a pretty nifty little game. We'll see what happens right here. You can see that he is loaded into Overlord. Top tier on a 357, which is a great setup for him. On Overlord, there are quite a few places where casemate TDs can be very effective. But as with casemate TDs overall, it's situational, and it relies a lot of times on the enemy being very foolish or very silly if you're going to sit way in the back. But early on this map, this position back on the red line is viable. Not all maps have this position, so just because it works on one map, and by this position I mean back behind the cap on the red line, just because a position like this works on one map does not mean it works on all of them. So you've got to understand the teams, you've got to understand your tank, and more importantly for this initial position, the map. So he's going up to what is a pretty standard spot for the north spawn. There are some bushes right here. One thing you'll notice, I'm going to break this down as well as I can. When he moves into this spot, he's going to run over this barbed wire. So let's watch what happens right here. All right, so the barbed wire goes down. When I'm playing artillery, I will look for stuff like that to let me know that someone's there. And since I know this spot, and nearly everybody in the game who's played this map any number of times does, and has probably been punished by TD sitting in this spot, if I'm in artillery and I see that go down, then I'm going to be spring-loaded to look for a guy there. In fact, I may lay a few rounds in on him. You notice that there are 3 arty. They don't initially lay rounds on him, but let's see how this thing goes down. Next thing is situation awareness and mini-map awareness and camera work. So the thing about sitting in the back and sniping is you want to be ready to shift your gun to wherever the enemy shows up. So you can see he's zooming in. Watch that Pershing up in front of him who's in a really silly spot. Okay, what did that Pershing just do? There are 2 pieces of information on this screen right now that should have keyed NiteDog in. The Pershing shifts his turret like he sees something. He's in a really dumb place, by the way. I don't know why that guy thinks he... I mean, he's holed down in that piece of concrete, but there's 3 artillery. That's just asking you to get bombarded right there. Anyway, he's got the hold down part, but not the avoid artillery part going on. The other piece is, if you take a look over on the right, you can see that there's a Type 64 over there. And if we take control of the camera and zoom in over here, you can see that I'm highlighting it. So it is very definitely shootable as he's trying to hide on the other side of that bunker right there. So that being said, 2 things: watching the minimap, watching what your buddies around you are doing, like that turret, or even just pulling back so that your view, camera work wise, is more like this. Because you know this is the field of view where things are going to show up. All along kind of here is where you're going to have shots. It's going to be hard to get too far over in there, but if anything really highlights itself here at the the northern edge of the forest coming up over top, anybody popping over the middle, anybody through here in the middle, anyone coming around this corner, which is really what he's looking at right now, or even all the way over on the edge here. So something where you're looking about right here, and you want to keep moving your camera to kind of look, but just watch what's going on, and you may get a shot like that. What NiteDog's looking for is that guy that stupidly pokes around that corner right there, and that is the corner where you farm the most damage from as they get into a brawl right there trying to peek and poke at each other. But not a lot of people do that, and usually it's only the not very good players. So relying on your position to farm not very good players, as I've said before, is not a great tactic, but you will see that they're going to avail themselves of some shots, and there's one right there that we miss. Pershing's looking. Oh, he's shooting, and then that's where NiteDog knows, like, oh, he's shooting at something. There we go. Probably would have ended that 64. Right about there, that kind of view. Now, to his credit, he is moving around and looking, so that's good. But I think the field of view where he could be looking is a little wider. So a good shot just drops it right on that IS. And that's where I say people being foolish. That guy just has no idea what's going on. this early in the game, this many guns with fairly decent TDs, especially in ISU, and if the ISU isn't spotted, I probably don't poke that corner. Now from here I'm thinking, well, there's going to be a point where he needs to move out because that ISU just got thumped. It's very unlikely. There's a T-29 hiding behind the corner, and I really don't think anyone's going to come around that corner. And then something else really interesting is now happening on the map. Got a T-64 there. We'll take a shot and miss. And something is continuing to happen on what? Wow, people are really busy around me right now. So you saw about 3 tanks go raging down. Of course, the 4202 got lit a while ago. The artillery gets killed, and we've got a Cheeto, a 4202, and on the other ramp, a KV-85. So 3 of their tanks have gone down into the beach. 3 of their pretty good tanks, really. And we've got a Pershing trying to fight them. We got a Type 64 trying to fight them. And there's a Tiger, which will eventually join. Let's see what NiteDog does with this information. There we go. So we finally start moving. So definitely I'd have been moving earlier than that. NiteDog just a little late to recognize it. Pershing's trying to do his thing, but he's getting thumped. This is a timing situation right here, and I talk about this quite a bit. When you're getting close to being loaded, you need to get on your horse, start moving, and get ready to shoot. So I'd have already been coming down and around that corner. The Pershing is still alive. If you could have come down and around that corner ASAPly, like start moving now, and maybe even a few potatoes earlier, you might have killed that 4202 and kept that Pershing alive. Don't worry about this 64. He's not the problem right now. Or the 85, or the 01. So none of those guys matter. We have to deal with what's in front of us, and we're about to lose our Pershing. We're going to lose our T-64. Type 64. So 4202 moves, he dies. Cheeto takes that guy out. And we just lost a bunch of guys because we didn't move out and take care of these dudes. Pull back. Now, here's the next question for the audience. This is just developed in this way. More than likely, we're going to get this 4202. He should be reloaded here fairly soon. He's not going to be able to gun us down. What is the other concern? There's one other huge concern that we should all have if we were driving this ISU-152. Think about that while this goes down. Because you've got to think about this game in steps, and you need to try to plan your next move. So we kill the 4202. That's good. We got rid of him. Probably could have saved at least one of our buddies. Oh, yeah. And there it is. So when I talk about thinking about it in chess terms of the next move, once you push down and killed that guy, you've been fighting him for a while and you've been lit for a while. Once you push down and killed that guy, I'd have kept trucking and tucked myself up under this area down here and get already safe, or at least already protected. I don't like the word already safe because there's very few places that are actually already safe. And then get your reload on, think about it for a few potatoes, and then move out. Make them forget about you. The thing about arty players is they eventually get bored of looking for you. If you're gone long enough, they want to get damage. Unless they're purely trying to target you based on your tank or XVM or whatever kind of thing like that. Usually they get bored and they move on. They go look for another target. But you backed right up into the same bush. So let's see how this goes down. We've been stunned. Stun goes away. Zoom in. We're going to bounce this 01. That's a bummer. And, okay, so now we're going to run away because everyone knows we're here. And we're going to run away because everyone knows we're here. We should probably be running away. Oh, boy. So, man. So, NiteDog, you get hit by Artie again because you stayed in the same spot. That's another thing Artie will do, having played quite a bit of Artie myself. If you see a guy move into a position and a few potatoes after he moves there, he's showing no inclination to move out of there, I'm probably going to lay another round in. Also, I don't think you noticed your driver is dead. He's going to be dead for a while. I think one of the problems there is when you get stunned. I heard our driver is knocked out or whatever the vocal warning is for that when you get stunned, but all of the things are lit up from the stun down below, the little icons that show you which crew member is dead. So they're all bright. You can't tell necessarily other than the vocalization that the driver's dead. Once the stun goes away, then you can see it. So I always try to check that and get your driver fixed. For a while, you sat there not in this bush. I would not have sat out in the open right there. I'd have gone right to this bush. Then you decide, yeah, let's get in the bush. But you move into the forward part of it. That's too bad. That would have been an epic shot. See this back part of it? Right here is where I'd be sitting. Maybe square up a little bit better. Sit right there. There's no need to come up and over that rise right there because that's giving you trouble with your depression. So you're like, I'll fix it by going forward, but you could have fixed it by going backwards and been more protected as far as camo goes in the bush. Although I don't think you're quite 15 behind us. I don't know if it would. Well, you might be actually right back in there in that little nook. See how that little nook right there? There you go. So that's what I'm talking about. That's how you camo up in that spot. It can be a deadly spot. Just waiting for it. And blap, there goes that guy. Up to 3,300. We're starting to bring it back. That's good. You were losing there for a little bit. Good, more forward positioning. Of course, you were forced out by artillery. But that's okay because we have targets, and that is what a TD needs to do. As long as there are targets, there's no reason to do anything else. Slash, as long as you're not spotted. Reference my earlier comments. You've got targets and you're not spotted. And everyone doesn't know you're still there. That's a good spot. NiteDog, fix your driver. You're killing me. Right now it doesn't matter, but pretty soon you're going to figure it out. Okay, so the 100.01 is probably not interested in poking anymore. It would be surprising, I would say, to me. Their TDs are in the back. You can see where the Scorpion's lit. You've got guys back there lighting them up. It was a long time ago required for you to get out of there and move forward, get your gun in there. And you'll eventually do this, but you could have done it a long time ago. Once you notice that the VK has moved back, off you go. And that was a valid concern. I don't want to get out in the open and have the VK pop around and kill me. But I think after you thumped him a couple times and you didn't see him a few potatoes after that, I probably would have just pushed out. Off we go. And you actually fix your track here. I don't know if you think the track was what's making you drive so poorly. Probably not required to fix the track. The driver is what would have got you there. And we'll move up, move up. I'm going to go a little bit faster here because not a whole lot happens. This is actually pretty funny. So we're driving along and we're thinking, what is going on? We got two artillery. We have a Scorpion. We have the Scorpion lit. He's probably going to go down. And oop! I love this aggressive M44, man. He's like, screw it. I'm heading down here. Now, he may have been down on the bloody beach the whole time, which is okay for artillery, but kind of limits his ability to hit some targets. But he pushes up. NiteDog finds this guy and nukes him, and no more damage. Actually, what happens is NiteDog drives over here quite a ways, and the other arty is actually sitting right up here at about A2, and they end up killing him. But NiteDog doesn't get any more damage. 4,325, pretty good game right there, dude. Good initial positioning. I think you misplayed the guys coming up the ramp, and you probably not probably, but you definitely shouldn't have tried to get back into that spot. And it's a case of when he sent this to me, NiteDog said, "Hey, I used some of your stuff on your casemate TD." And I think right there what you should have used is, I've done my work here. There's no reason to stay here anymore. I need to get my gun closer into the game. I helped us to bring it back. We're starting to win. Let's just get this big boomstick up there and start blapping people. And I understand you were working that 100.01. You eventually got some shots on them. But you could have moved to that more forward position much earlier and saved yourself at least one arty shot. And I think I'm beating this dead horse, but had you come down earlier and helped those guys take out the guys on the ramp with a more aggressive effort, you'd have saved at least the Pershing, maybe the Pershing and the Tiger, maybe all three. Now, you'd have taken a few more hits yourself, but you all three may have lived through that situation back there, and then move up to that forward bush and hammer on the 100.1. All right, guys, that is it for me. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you learned something while you went through this. If you did, make sure you subscribe. Remember to send me any of those videos that you've got. If you think you've got a video where you did something I talked about, or the video that helped you, or a video, or maybe if you've got a replay that hurt you because of what I said, I don't know, send it in to me. Good games, shenanigans, all that stuff. And as always, we will see you.